So hi everyone, so welcome. So this is my coach's thoughts on the Old Ghost Road. This is part two. So I just thought this would be a bit of a journal of the progress and the journey to the start line, and obviously we'll do a little post-race sort of how miserable was it kind of thing. So I've just finished the first 4 week blocks of training. This is my recovery week. It's been kind of okay. Despite me being a complete nutter muppet, which I'll talk about in a second. So one of the things I did talk about in the episode 1 was based on the fact that my blocks are over 4 weeks, there was the potential on the third week just to drop that back a little bit. And as it turned out, I actually did that, mainly because I was carrying a niggly little calf and I was trying to protect it. And kind of worked to mixed results. Did mean that I got through my last week of hard training, although there was a bit of a muppet moment, and that was on the Monday. So the last week of the plan was kind of like what the next few weeks are going, and that was basically I built towards Monday was a run home from work, which as it turns out is about 10k, just a tiny bit over, and then Tuesdays is a easy run on the treadmill with a gym session. Wednesdays I'd built to run in the forest of up to 20k's. Last one was just over 20k's. The Thursdays I do intervals on the treadmill straight onto the stepper machine and then back onto the treadmill, and that's a 45-minute session. Fridays is a kind of recovery, doing a swim. Saturdays is long run, which I got up to just under, it was about 29k's with about 800 meters of vertical, so it's a hill run. And then Sunday is a easy swim, about 2k's, and then it's a 10k run. So that was kind of what I built towards, with the view that that'll be the format for the next block of training. The bit where I'm a muppet is the run home on Monday. Last Monday was just supposed to be an easy run home, just building mileage in the legs. And it was quite a nice run. Came from town, came up, cut along the part of the river, then through Traverse wetlands. And I was about 300 or 400 meters from home, and I was looking at my watch and I was thinking, oh, actually, I'll be under the hour for this. And I started to push. And I was running into headwind, and about 100 meters in, my niggly calf started tightening up. And it's like, why? Why was I pushing? I had no need for that run to put a time down. It was me just being a complete moron, and thinking I could lay down some sort of time when that was not the objective of the run. So that meant that on Tuesday on the treadmill, I just, rather than it being an easy 5k's, it was a 2.5k easy jog. Funny thing is though, I did some work with a spiky ball on my feet, and Tuesday afternoon it kind of settled. And then Wednesday I went out and ran 20k's and my calf was fine. And like, I'm a massage therapist, I have no idea why it settled down. It's almost like it just got tired of being sore. So I think the big challenge in the next block of training is just to not be a muppet, and just do it properly and stick to the plan, and not constantly remind myself it's time on feet and it's not about pace per K, which is a bit of a paradigm shift. So the next 4 weeks training will culminate with I'm going to head over to the West Coast, which is the weekend before Christmas, which is not great, but it works out perfectly with the plan. And the idea is to do the first part of the Old Ghost Road, so run into the first hut, which is 17k's, and then run back out. So that'll be a 34k run. And that'll really give me a good idea of what that section of the race is going to be like, and also because you run part of that in the dark. And then on the Sunday, we'll go to the other end. Now, I've run 6k's in and 6k's out. What I'll do is I'll run 10k's in and 10k's out. And the cool thing about that is it'll give me an idea of what's it like running that descent with fatigue in the legs from the previous day. I had toyed with doing the Paparoa Trail. I may have mentioned it in the last episode, but I'm going to put that into the end of January. The reason being is that that'll be a sort of a race simulation test a month out from the race, and I can test nutrition and do a really good simulation of what I want to wear, and do a run with full race kit, like my emergency kit, and that's 55k run, and then from that point I'm kind of done. So yeah, it's easy when you talk it, isn't it? So the plan is, in the next block of training, it's going to be the same as the last week that I mentioned earlier. So Monday will just be an easy run home. What I'm going to change on Tuesday from the gym session, Tuesday's treadmill session is going to change to, what I'm going to implement, and I tried it this week, is fast walking on an incline. So what I want to start doing is training the legs to walk fast on an incline. So I'm going to do that on the treadmill. I think there's benefits to working on, with an ultra marathon, you do a lot of walking. So if I can improve my walk leg speed on an incline, I think that's definitely going to be beneficial. So that's what I'm going to implement over the next 4 weeks. And I'm going to play with what I tried the other day, was do a 5-minute warm up and then 5 minutes at 8%, 5 minutes flat running at sort of my target race pace, and then again back to 8% and so on for 30 minutes. So hopefully that'll give me some adaptation and improve my walking leg speed, which is the focus of that particular session. So that's Tuesday. Wednesday's run at the moment is 20Ks. That will build to 25 to 30 in this block of training. The next block of training, I may transition that to running in the hills, but at this stage it'll be in Botlek Forest because it's really time efficient and it's just, it's not far from here. I can be at the edge of the forest in 300 meters from here. So that'll be that. At the moment it's Wednesday. Thursday I'll keep my interval session, try and get some leg speed, but I'll also add 10 minutes on the stepper and then more tempo running, followed by gym work. So that's that day. Friday is going to be a recovery swim, and that's just it definitely, the swimming I've noticed has definitely helped with my recovery. And also we have a group training, so it's a bit of fun and it's social. Saturday at the moment, it's just under 30Ks. That'll build to about 35 to 40 max. It'll be 4 hours on my feet maximum, but it's more about getting vertical. I've just got to play around with some routes. The runs at the moment are pretty brutal, but they're some of them are parts of them are almost a bit too technical, and I also want to practice running with poles. So I'll play around with that over the next 4-week block of some different routes, which is still kind of fun, running in different places. I've done quite a bit of time on Godley Head track, which is absolutely spectacular. And then Sunday we'll still have a recovery swim, and then the run will build to about 20Ks. At the moment it's about 10K, so that'll be building that longer run and getting used to running with fatigue. And that will take me, by the end of this block, it'll be about 100Ks a week of running, maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less, but around about that if I can cope. So that's where I'm at. It's easy when you talk it, isn't it? There's definitely some challenges. I had a massage start of this recovery week, which has definitely helped because my legs were pretty torched. And this week I'm just going to tick over, try to do a bit more swimming and get ready for next week's block of training. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's been, I've survived that first block, and we're getting ready to go again. So and I'll make another post on that at some stage in the not too distant future. Speak to you later. Hope this is helpful. See you later. Bye.